Hello, good evening. It's been a while, but welcome to Off Track Small Talk. Tonight, I'm going to be chatting to a driver who's making his debut at Hednesford on Sunday for the British Drivers' Championship. That individual is 178 Richard Burt. Evening, Richard. You all right?
Yeah, I'm really well. Are you?
Yeah. Good holiday. You've been away this week.
I have. Yeah, I went away for 4 days down Devon. Just got back. So long trip, but it's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
It's a long trip, and then you get to sit and talk to me for half an hour. So it's like a
Yeah.
good incentive to get home.
Well, at least we finally got to do it. You know, you've been putting me off in the phone, you say.
We have. We've been talking about this a while. So we're going to talk about your brand new car that you're going to debut this coming Sunday at Hednesford. But before we get to that, people will recognise, potentially you and the name. You've not been in Formula One that long, but you did have quite a successful career in V8s prior to coming into Formula One.
Yeah, did okay. Started at V8s, shared a car 2007, did about 2 or 3 meetings in that year. Then I shared a car for 2008 and we built a new one. So yeah, ran V8s through till about 2013, I think it was 2012, 2013. Yeah, we did okay, yeah.
So what made you decide you want to come into Formula One stock cars? What was the kind of thing that prompted you, I want to do that?
Well, I sold the V8 because we bought a new house, and obviously when you buy a new house, things become tight for a while. So I'll be honest, I saw one advertised, and it was really good value for money. And I said to my brother-in-law at the time, "Oh, do you fancy going halves?" A bit tongue in cheek, and he said, "No." Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. And I thought, well, actually, I know the cost of them is a lot, but I thought actually it might not work out too expensive. So I had a bit of a look into it. Left it for about 8-9 months, decided whether to have a go, buy maybe a slightly cheaper car and go on shale or look at doing tarmac. Spoke to a few people, got a few friends that already raced Formula Ones, and they sort of steered me in the right direction. And I came across the car that Matt Newson had for sale, which was the ex-Will Hunter car. So yeah, we went down to see Matt. He'd put the car and the engine as a package together. It fitted my budget at the time, so we thought we'd give it a go.
Yeah. So that was 2021, is that right? That you came into Formula One?
Yeah. I bought the car back end of 2020. Stripped it, had it all sort of repowder coated, painted, sign written, and then started off in the 2021 season. It was a bit of a later start though, wasn't it? Because it was after COVID. So I think the first meeting out was actually Skegness British, funnily enough. And it was packed, wasn't it? So
yeah. So you've not done a huge amount of meetings in Formula One. Are you happy with kind of what you've done and sort of getting your head around it? Because it is very different to V8s. I mean, it's stock cars, but it is still very different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I didn't want to commit too much because I didn't know what to expect. So obviously, I've been around the Formula One sort of game for a while, but until you've sat in one and felt a hit, you don't know what they're going to feel like and whether you enjoy it. So yeah, I did 11 meetings, and I've managed to put the car on both of its 2 wheels either side. And yeah, I realised that I did enjoy doing it. The hits that I had, I felt they were okay. I'm lucky really. The lads that come with me love repairing damage, so the combination works well. So yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And as I said at the start, I didn't want to commit too much until I knew I was going to enjoy it. Hence the reason I'm sat here now. I did enjoy it, so we wanted to sort of try a bit more seriously, really.
I mean, you and I have spoken quite a lot at tracks when you've been going to watch stock cars when you've not been racing, and it does come across to me that you're very much a fan of Formula One. You're a huge advocate of the sport.
Yeah, first up until sort of late 90s, about 2000, I'd never even seen a stock car. And I worked at an engineering company, and we actually built Formula One with my then boss, now father-in-law, and it was the car. In fact, it's the car that it was built for a guy called Keith Chambers, and it's the car that they use at Bradford. You know, the white car.
Okay, right, yeah.
I helped. That's the first stock car I ever helped that had a hand in building. That was that car with the step chassis. So
fantastic.
yeah. I remember the first time we started it up in the workshop. There's no better noise, is there? I mean, I am preaching to the converted, but the noise is just awesome, and I was hooked. And I helped mechanic a little bit for Keith back then. I don't know how many meetings we did. We did the Northamptons, Wimbledons, did a few, and I just really enjoyed it. And then it sort of progressed on, and my boss then became my father-in-law, which worked out quite well. He enjoyed racing. He started in the V8s in the mid 80s. Sorry, helped start the V8s off. So yeah. I sort of had a bit of an early sort of fast start into it a little bit because he knows what he's doing with setup, and then it progressed into the V8s, and yeah, I had a go.
So is that why you're kind of feeling sort of comfortable with the Formula Ones? Because you said the hits are okay, the repairing the damage is okay, but you've got a bit of a sort of team behind you because you can't do Formula One on your own, can you? It's not possible, I think.
No, I'll be honest. I kind of made sure we'd got the team before I got the car, because if you haven't got everything on the Formula One, just weighs a lot. It's not with the V8. If you want to take the axle out, you can do it by yourself. It's a bit of a pain, but it's not a problem. You can lift the axle out by yourself, front or back. With the Formula One, unless it's me just being a wimp, the things are heavy. It's hard work, and I kind of made sure we've got a team. I've got some friends who enjoy helping out with the car. I've got my two brother-in-laws. I've got my father-in-law. I've got quite a sort of wide variety of people that do enjoy helping out at different times. So I think if I hadn't got those people, I probably wouldn't have even bothered, because you can't do it by yourself. No chance.
No, I think whenever we talk to drivers, it is you need that team around you, because it's just the physicality of the sport is huge.
Yeah, the thing is, I could get back from work, spend 3 or 4 hours in the garage on it, but you've got 2 or 3 people helping you. What it would take you to do it in a week, you're doing one night.
Yes.
Even daft, scaling it up. If you haven't got a 2-post ramp, it's just hard work. So again, without the people helping, I'm not trying to sound cheesy or anything, but without the people helping, you won't be able to do it. And anyone that drives a stock car would probably say the same.
Yeah, absolutely, they do. They absolutely do. So you mentioned about sort of, you looked into it, you decided on the tarmac route. What was the kind of decision behind that? What kind of prompted you to go down tarmac? Because I suppose the Formula is weighted more towards shale at the moment, I think, with the number of tracks that we've got.
Shale's dirty.
Okay, yes, it is. It is. People like dirty.
Yeah. I don't mind dirty. I just don't like cleaning it. I hate cleaning shale off a car. And if you're going to go and it's a lovely summer's evening, it's not a problem. But I guarantee it wouldn't be. The heavens would open. The car would be plastered in shale. I'd bring it home. I'd park it on the drive. I'd start jet washing it, and the wife and the neighbours would go absolutely mental. So that's in a nutshell. We're not being chatted.
So do you keep the car at home? Is that where your car is? Your home?
A bit of a mixture, really. The car's actually up at a friend of mine, so he's got a farm. So I'm privileged enough to have a farm. He's got a barn with a 2-post ramping, so I can keep the car up there. If we get heavy damage, we take it up there. Taking gearboxes out and stuff, we take it up there. My new car has spent, while I've worked on it, it's been at my house in my garage, because again, I can come back from work, have something to eat, nip out, do a couple of hours on it, do an hour on it, even half an hour, and I can come back in. You're not going to set your night up, and you're not going to leave the house, go and unlock the garage, that kind of stuff. So a bit of a mixed bag, really. I do enjoy having it at home, but again, I've got the facility that if we have got some damage, or we need to make a bit more noise later on at night, I can take it up there. So it's good.
So what do your neighbours think of having a stock car next door to them?
Well, it's funny, really, because my next door neighbour, up until 9 months ago, when I moved in, was 93 years old, and I've been here 9 years. So God rest her soul, she's no longer with us anymore, and it wasn't my fault. I took the car practicing at Skegness a couple of weeks ago, and the first time I met the new neighbours was when I loaded it onto the trailer, and they came round to see me and went, "Oh, by the way, we're the new neighbours. What's that?"
And does it always make that much noise?
Yeah. So they've been introduced to Formula One stock car racing as well now. But no, they seem really good, really nice, to be honest. So
Good.
Ask them in 6 months, but
yes, after a good half-season racing.
So exactly.
You did 2021, and you didn't race last year. That's right. You didn't do anything at all last year, did you?
No, I kind of I committed to having this new car. I took the engine out of my original car, almost so I couldn't be tempted to start racing again. Because if I started racing, you spend more time racing, repairing, and you won't focus on the new one. So I took the engine out, so I physically couldn't race the old car. Left that at my friend's house. to remove the temptation, basically, to make sure I can focus on the new one. Yeah.
So this car has pretty much been in build from 2022 to date. Is that sort of a year and a half?
It's about 18 months. Yeah. I think when we first spoke, it was probably it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Which is good. Which is good in some respects. But did you never, we've chatted at racing. Have you never had the itch to go, oh, I wish I was out there. I wish it was like, at Skegness a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I really have actually. I wouldn't say I thought about it seriously, but I debated I wanted to hire a car. I really did, but the world qualifiers or the world final this year was on shale anyway, so that kind of removed some of the temptation. Obviously, the world final next year potentially, hopefully, maybe on tarmac. So focus on some of the qualifiers back end of this year and see if we can get any world qualifying points. So yeah, the temptation was there, but it was overweighed by the fact I was going to have the opportunity to have a brand new car and do it right. And I just didn't want to cut any corners with it. And if I had done, we've stripped the engine, we've gone through it, we've checked it all. And yeah, if I'd carried on racing, we would have had to cut corners either for cost or for time.
Yes.
So yeah.
Because it is a big decision to make to kind of go, right, I've got this car that I bought to sort of dip my toe in the water. I'm quite happy. But then to go from that to a brand new car is kind of a big jump, isn't it? What was the thing that kind of went, oh, I'm going to do that? Was there anything in particular that said, do you know what, I want a brand new car?
No, it's just stupid. I don't know why. I don't know why I did it. I've built new cars before. I've helped build new cars before, and I know how much work's involved in them. Yeah. Whether you buy one partly built and finish it off, or whether you build it from scratch, they just take ages. And I'm just an absolute idiot, really. But I got dealt up on it. I'm a sucker for a car looking nice, and the rest was history, I suppose. So.
Yeah. Well, people do say that, like, building a stock car is such a time-consuming exercise, and it's not putting a bumper on. It's not that. It's just the intricate details that take a week, and you can't even tell you've done anything. That's what takes your time.
Yeah, and I think when you've had a bit of a hand in doing one, you really understand and appreciate the boys that do it for a living. It is exactly as you say. You can spend all night in the garage and you've not even put a set of pedals together. They really do take a lot of time. Obviously, the more you do, you have things purpose built. You'll have brackets machined ready for you, but anyone could throw one together, but it's either not going to last or it's not going to look particularly nice, and they do take a lot of time. But I think if you take your time with them, it's worth it in the end.
Yeah. Is there one particular thing that you really banged your head against the wall with that you were doing that you just couldn't get right and it was doing your head in?
Not really, because I know what the real crap jobs are. So the person who put the car together for me, I asked him to do that.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. Putting cab sides and trying to bend that steel, or putting the roof plate in. I just thought there's no way I'm getting involved doing that. That's a lot of welding. So yeah, I got the other person to do that who built the car originally. So there wasn't really. It was just. The crap jobs are when you're trying to get underneath the thing and trying to weld on it, and weld splatters dropping in your ear and dropping in your boot, and it's just I haven't got the facility to be able to lift the car up and roll it onto its side. So anything that I did, nerve rails, bumpers, I had to crawl underneath and do it, and it's just a crap job, horrible job. So yeah, it is.
Good. So we've really sold building a new car. I'm good. I'm glad we're at that point now.
I think so. Yeah. In fact, shall I go into selling new cars? I think I've done a great job. I've sucked the life out of that job, haven't I?
You have, absolutely. Richard, we've talked around it. We've talked enough about it. We've come to that time when it's time for you to introduce your brand new car. Over to you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, just before I do that, again, I have mentioned them before, but I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone that's helped me, all the lads that have helped in the garage. It really is appreciated. All the sponsors, every person name that is on the car has had an involvement, either financially or just helping me being at the end of the phone. I'm allowed to say who's built the car?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the car was started by Ryan Harrison. Again, been an absolute massive help. End of the phone, doesn't matter what time. Same as the Ryan, the Harrison family. They've helped me. I've picked parts up in an evening of the weekend. And And probably last but certainly not least is my family. You know, my wife has been absolutely amazing. I've spent so much time, especially in the last sort of 3 months, on this car, and the kids. You know, they've been really, really understanding. It's took a lot of effort, but hopefully it's worth it. So yeah, I'd like to introduce my new car for this season. It was started by Ryan Harrison and finished by myself. Thank you.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far and start walking. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far and start walking. On a mission and get high up, I know that I'ma die. Reaching for a lot that I don't really need at all. Never listen to replies, learn the lesson from the wise. You should never take advice from somebody that ain't tried. They said I wouldn't make it out alive. They told me I would never see the rise. That's why I gotta get them every time. Gotta watch them bleed too. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far and start walking. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready.
Give it a bit of that.
Richard, the car does look absolutely fantastic, and good work with the pictures and video. Is that down to you, or did you get some like professional in to do it for you?
I think you know the answer to that. It wasn't me, was it? No, that's a big thank you to my brother-in-law Darren. We've got a bit of an idea. We spent a day working on the car, and we got an idea that we'd like to put some pictures together, but put a bit of music behind it. So I sort of give him an idea of what music I'd like, and then I left the rest to him, and it just looks awesome, doesn't it?
It does absolutely. It really sells, you know, your car and the sport, to be fair. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just something a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, the car does look a very much a Ryan-esque car. You know, it's got that very kind of similar look to it. So you said you got the car from Ryan. We've talked a bit about what you did. What did it look like, I guess, when it came from Ryan? You know, how much did you need to do?
Well, it was a bare chassis. There were no axles underneath it. There were no nerve rails on it. No bumpers on it. So he put the rear shock mounts on it. I did the front. So yeah, I brought it back on the back of a trailer, and then yeah, it took me about 18 months to get it to where it's at now. But anything that he can do quickly, that he has, you know, we went down and had the seat fitting done, because again, we talked about pedals earlier. You know, it had taken me a week to do those pedals. You know, he has everything laser cut. He knows what he's doing, so we can do the pedals nice and quickly. You know, and set the steering all up as I wanted it. So anything that was going to be a real pain for me, but he does it on a very frequent basis, and I got him to do that with me, and he was more than happy to sort of help me out where he could anyway.
So it's very much like a bespoke service where you can kind of really detail, right, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to do A, B, and C, and then you can kind of, so it fits your kind of budget or time constraints or whatever.
That's exactly what it was. Everyone has different budgets within the sport. I'm not going to tell people I've got a massive budget. I don't have the budget that a lot of people have. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. We worked to a budget. It actually started. I went down to buy some tyres, and it just sold me the dream, didn't it?
You should just look at them shiny cars in the corner, weren't you? Like, oh, they're nice.
Look at what you could have won. Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, yours could look just like that. Yeah, and I was hook, line, and sinker, and I've been in sales for 20 years and I still get duped by it myself anyway. So and it does. Obviously, it looks like a Ryan Houchen car because that's how it was built. The main body is built by him, but I did want to make it a little bit different. So I've done a few little bits that are different. But ultimately, it's one of his cars. He knows what he's doing. You've only got to look at the cars that he's got on the track at the moment. They're quick cars, aren't they? So yeah, I'll ruin his reputation now.
but I'm sure you won't. But in terms of like sort of this year and I guess building on to next, are you kind of setting yourself any sort of goals or aspirations or targets? You've got a nice car, you've got a new car. Are you kind of going, I'd like to achieve this within the sport?
Not really. And the only reason being is because anyone that's raced in another formula, doesn't matter what grade you've raced at, when you come into Formula One, it is just so different. It is so competitive. I think the main thing for me is I want to finish some races. I had a couple of half decent finishes when I raced in 2021. Ultimately, I'd like to attend the tarmac world qualifiers at the end of this year and aim for a semi-final. That'd be the goal, and then we'll sort of take it from there, really. Obviously I'm going out as a yellow. It'd be great to work up the grades, but it's not the be all and end all. I want to go have some fun. The family have been banging on about missing racing for a long time now. They all enjoy doing it, so the main thing is have some fun, bend it, mend it, and then go again, really.
Yeah. Well, that's a great attitude to have, isn't it? I think if you are saying yourself, I need to win this or I need to do that, it takes that enjoyment out of what is a hobby at the end of the day. So it's a good attitude to go with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
So like you said about sort of tarmac, so it is tarmac, but what if you get a shell semi? What's going to happen?
I won't do it.
Okay.
I'll find someone who's got a shale car and I'll say, do you fancy a swap? To be honest with you, I could put it on. People do put tarmac cars on shale, don't they? But I just don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge. Just you to ask that stupid question.
A couple of more things before you go. You said about it is competitive in Formula One, and it absolutely is. I think it's been a really good season so far, and lots of different winners. Tom's very much at the top of his game, but Skegness a couple of weeks ago, it's anybody's, isn't it? Very much. It's a very competitive formula this year again.
Yeah, I mean, I went to watch the Saturday meeting at Skeg, and obviously, the racing was really good. It was really close. If you look at the lap times, there's really not a lot in it. Right. And, it brings out the competitive nature in the races, but also the crowd. And the crowd love it, don't they? The crowd love to see a bit of a duel, a bit of a battle. They're going to wonder if it's going to continue into the next meeting as well. So, yeah, there was certainly a buzz sort of at the meeting. And then, you see social media just lights up, doesn't it, afterwards? Yeah. So yeah, it's all good, isn't it? But I think the sport's in a good place. Obviously, Skegness they restricted the numbers down to I think it's 56 cars. But there was a lot of people that wanted to attend the meeting. There was a good attendance at the Skegness before that. Skegness in particular is just an amazing track. He's put so much effort into that place. Everyone wants to race there, don't they?
They do. So debut on Sunday, Hednesford. Have you done anything in there? Have you done Formula One there before in Hednesford?
I did. Back end. I think it was like an October or November meeting here, 2021. It's fast. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And okay in the wet. It's looking a bit of a damp meeting on Sunday.
Probably ask me at about 8 o'clock on Sunday night, and I'll be able to give you a better answer. Yeah. I need to get some wet tyres. I haven't got any tyres yet, so that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Yeah.
But if you get him off Ryan, don't let him sell you a shell car. Just don't. Like, I've got a tarmac car, that's fine, right? I don't need anything else. Just some tyres.
That's a good shout, actually. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I hadn't looked at the forecast, to be honest with you. I say I've only just got back a couple of hours ago, but I have been told it's going to. The weather's not looking too good, so yeah, we'll see. But I think with the wet, it's a leveler, isn't it? Engine power, isn't as important in the wet. Being smooth is, and we could have a different British champion than we've had previously, maybe, which would be good. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all looking good for Sunday, certainly. Definitely. It's looking like a good meeting.
Yeah.
Richard, thank you very much for talking to me tonight, especially after your arduous journey back from Devon. It's been absolutely fantastic. And good luck on Sunday, and we'll see you there.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, see you.